Okay, the last thing I want to show you for this assignment is how to create a classroom discussion. It's kind of like a notes page that I did on the first assignment, except for you're going to have different tabs over different concepts. So I have a template called Classroom Discussion Template. I'm going to go ahead and open this. And I got this from Alice Keeler. I'm not sure if you've heard of her, but she is great. If you just Google her, she has tons and tons of tips and tricks using everything Google. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do when you pull this up is you are going to type in the discussion topics for whatever it is that you want your class to discuss. So for this assignment, we've used Google Forms grading, and then we used Flubru grading. You only type here in this gray column. And you can add, obviously, a lot more to this. I'm not going to because these are the only things we talked about. Okay, it says make a list of your discussion topics here. Use the discussion tab menu along the top. So if you look up here, you now have a discussion tab. And this is not going to be on all of your spreadsheets, but it is in this one because the template was already created. So I'm going to choose discussion tab. Try again, and then click Run Discussion tab. It needs your authorization. I want it to continue. And you won't have to do this every time. I'm just also logged into my personal account because I'm uploading my screencast to YouTube. Okay, so this says that it's running scripts. You're going to have to give it a minute for this to run, and it's going to take your discussion topics and put them into the cells on this. So as you can see, I now have Google Forms grading, then I have a second tab called Flubru grading. And it says for the instructions, choose a cell below to type in your response. One thing you might want to do with students is assign them a cell. That way you don't have everyone clicking and typing over each other. So you might say, okay, you're going to be A5, go through and just assign them to the students so that they know where to type. So what you can do on this is everyone can type what they've learned, something new, something they want to know. You can kind of give them, you can use it like KWL, just give them options of what you want them to type in their cells. So you can say, Google Forms grading, I learned that I can give responses back to students when they get the question wrong, give a link to another website so that they can find more information. So what I want you to do now is I want you to type in a cell on each of these tabs, one for Google Forms, one's for Flubru. I want you to ask me any questions you may have, tell me something you've learned, something you know that I may not know. If you could do that in here, that would be great. And real quick, before I end this screencast, I want to show you how I post my Google Forms in Google Classroom. So this is the quiz or assessment I want you guys to take here in a minute, just so you can see how the grades show up for you. And I'm going to show you what I see on my side. When I do this, if you want to, when you get finished, I don't upload my form from Google Drive into Google Classroom because it takes them to how they can edit it. And I definitely don't want them to do that. So I can click here on link, and I always do shorten URL just so it's not crazy. Copy that link, and then I go into my Google Classroom page, click link, paste it here. And so then it will just provide a link to that form. So the students can click the link. It'll take them to the form to answer the questions.